Hey team, Luigi Mondelli here, head coach at American Top Team Danbury, Connecticut, and Core Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Association. This is weekly talk number two. Since I moved from Facebook groups to YouTube to reach out to more people um, that are part of our association, but they are not in our social media platforms or whatever. Um, this week I want to talk about some things that are linked up together, which is number one is open-mindedness in martial arts. Um, be ready for changes. Changes sometimes can be good. Self-improvement in your own journey in martial arts, and I want to talk about my own journey, and you make your own decisions and judgments or whatever. Uh, Most of you guys know, whoever trains with me knows that I trained most of my life in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro, and in my hometown, Petrópolis. I trained among three coaches, um, and I lived throughout those old school days. And those days were prior to the internet, prior to YouTube, and of course, um, after a while we had the internet, and then after I moved to here in the 2000s, I don't remember when, YouTube really took off. And the reason I'm saying that is to so you guys can picture the availability that we have today as far as techniques to watch, documentaries, highlights, DVDs, books, and etc. Especially YouTube became this vehicle of to share all this knowledge. When back then we were, it's just the way that it used to be, and we have to put things in perspective um, on those days. All right, we cannot think today with today's head thinking about the past. We have always to understand the history and the past, and you can think like, oh, that was dumb, but that was the reason for things to uh, for being like that in the past. So back then we were not allowed to cross train, um, at least for the most part. Teams were very kind of very enclosed, um, really strong team mentality, um, and people try to develop new things and bring to tournaments. Those new techniques were very hard to break down because you would see once being done to a few guys, and we wouldn't have that knowledge base or source to watch to then break that down and maybe brainstorm in our schools. Um, anyway, many times things were just like, oh, I saw this guy doing this thing, or he did this to me, and I think it was like that, and we tried to break that down, and this way, it was a very nice time in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Plus, the good rivalry between teams. Everybody want to win the national, the Brazilian Brasileiro, or everybody want to win the Mundials, or the state, the estadual. So every team want to take the first place. So it was very common that everybody. It was very normal to have the teams protect their techniques, let's say, and not make it that open, right? So there was some secrecy that we would break that secrecy whenever we try to apply these things in tournaments and etc. So I think at least the way that I saw it, there was this rivalry, a very tribal thing, and that's fine. I still think it's pretty cool, the flagship, and representing your team and staying within your lineage. I still cherish those things a lot. Um, Granted that loyalty is a two-way road, in my opinion. We can talk about that, but I should be loyal to my coach, same way that my coach should be loyal to me, in a way that built on honesty and bushido overall. But anyway, things changed, life changed, technology changed, and things keep progressing so much, right? So we have YouTube now. We have a vast, you know, source of knowledge. You can go to Flow Grappling, Hello Japan channels. There's so many other channels. BJJ Scout. Let me see if I have some saved here. No, I don't. But there's so many that you just go there, breakdowns and very scientific, breakdowns of things. I think everything is positive. So with that also, I believe that many coaches and professors, and I can talk about I'll talk about myself. I changed the way that I run my warm-ups. I changed the way I used to be so rigid, and now we have a more relaxed atmosphere at the school, but it's still following rules and rules of etiquette. So we still have our common sense traditions. We bow before we get on the mat. We bow after leaving the mat. We bow before class. We still turn around and bow to the masters and founders of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So in our school, we have a little lineage there. Um, that goes back to Maeda and the Gracies, Carlos and Helio, Carson. That was my lineage. And then I still have the pictures of Ricardo Liborio, who really took me under his wing here in the United States after a few things. I still have a picture of Buddha, my first coach. So we all do those traditions. We practice those traditions. We do some things that I think is very positive. Same things like uniform, always being tied up, belt tied up, clean uniform, white, blue, or black. I mean, everybody have their own methodology, and that's fine. I changed the way that I do my warm-ups from being way rougher and to be more functional. And one of the reasons why it's because I came in contact, became friends and teacher, and learned from one guy that is a master in biomechanics, Chris Graney. Chris, I, I don't know a fraction of what he knows as far as biomechanics. So he came up with some specific exercises to prepare before training, those little muscle activation techniques or active range of motion techniques, things that we felt that always helped the team as a whole and the students, and that's the most important part. Then we cut a lot of the calisthenics and start using more functional exercises, pieces of techniques, um, or sequences, and etc. etc. So things change. So I'm not the same coach from when I arrived in the United States. So I changed some things as far as my views about cross training. I really motivate people to cross train. I think if people like my style, they're gonna stay with me. If they don't like my style, they see something better. That's okay. Um, as long as you go to a good team, sometimes it hurts because we miss our students, but it's always a way for me to see if I'm doing the right thing or not. If I'm part, um, I'm part of that decision or not, and etc. etc. But I feel very confident about what I teach. I feel very, very, like I said, confident. I know that I teach great classes. I know that I do my best. Even my worst days, I try to be a good coach. So, anyway, cross training for me is something that is positive, especially because we have also a lot of people affiliated to us in the area. So, but if you don't and you're traveling, people ask me like, where can I go? And I always look at try to research. Oh, you're going to Colorado? Go train at this place. You're going to Oregon? Go train in this place. I always motivate my students, and many times I use that as a feedback as well, which is great. So change, it's not bad, as long as we do for the best, obviously. So I think those changes are good. Some things I never adopt the beginner, advanced classes. I never liked the format. And not so. My school's not so commercial. Nothing against anybody that does that. I mean, like I never had that worry about retention, because I adopt a different stance, which is okay. I'm not gonna make the first months super rough for the new guy, but I'm gonna make sure that we have higher ranks help lower ranks. And the reason for that is that it's a sort of like a compassion training, right? So you got somebody that is new, feeling self-conscious because he's overweight, or get somebody new that is just shy. It could be very intimidating to walk in a martial arts studio, school, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu school, MMA school at first. especially if you're by yourself. So why not making that whole process more welcoming? Why not making something a better environment for a new person? So I came up with this thing we call catch, release, and explain. So I've been training with a white belt with two um, less than two stripes, meaning that somebody that has less than 6 months. That's the way that I do, and I respect anybody else. Do the way that you like. But I feel like there's no point, especially me. Like imagine, like I'm 240 pounds now, going to my fifth degree on my black belt, and then I go with a white belt. I tap a white belt like 20 times. I mean, what did I really teach? I didn't teach any lesson. I didn't. People don't. That's another thing. People like, oh, sometimes you need to roughen up a little bit the white belt, go super hard so this guy or this girl will learn. Nobody learns like that. Actually, you just enforce. You giving, in my opinion, you're giving the wrong message. Somebody's going crazy and spaz against me, and I go super crazy, try to hold that guy, and then show that I can beat him. I just taught him, you know, to do the same thing. Communicate is the best thing. Communication is the best thing. So, hey, dude, calm down. Listen, I have many, many years ahead of you. Just relax. Let me help you out. Do what you know. You don't need to be over aggressive, but I'm gonna help you out. Don't worry about it. So start rolling and keep it real, right? Keep it tough. Keep it rough, a little bit. Get the person in submission. Let go, and explain. Hey, dude, you overextend your arm here, trying to get out of the mount. That's why I went for the arm bar. So let's go back to here. Keep your arms this way, frame or whatever. Explain very briefly. Takes about 30 seconds, right? The guy goes inside your guard, try to choke you. You go switch to an arm bar. You don't need to do that 6 times in 2 minutes, because it would be better for you if you stop and tell the guy, hey, don't reach out to my collar like that because you're overexposing your arms. I can switch to an arm bar. Just keep your arms here. Go from there. Guarantee the guy won't do that again. Guarantee that you have a harder time going for your arm bars. Guarantee that the guy going to remember the lesson. Guarantee that that guy or that girl will like you better. Guarantee that you're making a new friend. Guarantee that your jiu-jitsu is getting better because the other person is getting better. So I changed that from just like the way they used to be, like first day white belt, boom, training with somebody harder. Many schools in Brazil were like that. Anyway, that brings us to open-mindedness, right? So things has jiu-jitsu is dynamic, it's not encapsulated, it's not static. New techniques have people have been coming up with new things or rediscovering new things. I like to use that word more than really like inventing things, but rediscovering more about physics, mechanics, body mechanics, and etc. And then come up with a move, which it could be, like I said, a rediscover, or it could be like even you realizing that you can move this way and do this technique, and you like this setup, but at the end it's all leverage, balance breaking, fittings like judo, and then applying the technique. Awesome. Come up with your system. That's self improvement. Uh, Coaches should be open-minded to let the students come up with their own things, as long as nothing that is catastrophically wrong. Um, Students should be always uh, should not be stuck to old ways and follow a little bit your own instructor improvement. I'm learning. I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I've been a black belt for 18 years or so, going to 19 years of belief. I'm still learning. I'm still dynamically changing some things, and I lost 16 pounds in the last month. My game will change a little bit. I know I'm gonna lose a little bit of pressure. I'm changing. I'm improving. And I hope my students see some motivation and inspiration for a change as well. With that, I think so. Be open minded, uh, be ready for changes if necessary. Changes can lead for self improvement. Self improvement can be also related to reinforcing what you're good at, so you don't need to change as much. And with that, all this being said, create your own journey, right? So in our school, in our system, at least like, my mindset, I want everybody to have and experience their own journeys in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and not my journey. Meaning that it could be a 400-pound guy that joins the school because he hates to work out, he cannot do cardio, but he likes Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, he wants to learn a little thing, going to be extremely challenging. That's fine. That's his challenge. That's his open-mindedness to find other ways to lose the weight. Uh, that's his way to change his lifestyle because now he needs to eat better, sleep better, um, and try to find ways to be more um, consistent in his training or her training. That leads to self-improvement. That leads to your own journey. All right. Later on, maybe this guy or this girl decides to be a competitor. His or her journey. A girl that have been abused back, in the past, and decides to do something to boost her self confidence, self assertiveness, the way that try to break from a little bit, even from her personality, but trying to do something that can give her more self esteem. That's her journey. Maybe somebody starts like that and moves on to being a competitor. Awesome. Some guys watch some things and they come right in and say, I want to be a competitor. Some guys dealing with PTSD, depression, anxiety, for whatever reasons, they come in because they want to do something that is, they can be positive in their lives to keep them away from those negative thoughts. So somebody that wants to come in and spend 2 hours in our school just around people in the same mission. Good. People that are maybe shy, introspective, and want to be part of a community. So everybody have their own journey. Some people they come because they want to be competitors. They want to lose weight. They want to release their stress. Some people come because they want to learn something that can be useful for their work. First responders, police officers, EMTs. Everybody have their own journey, and I'm here to help. What is my own journey right now? I've been always, so this is me, Luigi, now. I've been always interested in self-defense martial arts as a whole. And I really like the way that I learned in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu back then. And back then we used to do self-defense, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for competition, and no gi a lot too. We moved away a lot, at least I moved away a lot from self-defense. And then I came in contact with Wall Isaac, my self-defense coach. He's the guy that I always mention him because he always brings me a lot of wisdom. Open my eyes. And then I start like feeling like maybe I'm not that complete as a martial artist. I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about me. I wanted to be a complete martial artist. I want to be complete and when it comes to self-defense and combatives. That's my own journey now after like, I don't know, so many years in martial arts, like over 30 years in martial arts overall, 32 years or more. Yeah, about that. In martial arts in general, not just Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So think about this. I want to find other niches or other places in martial arts for me. Am I leaving the jiu-jitsu with the gi? No, of course not. I'm bringing new coaches to do seminars, or we're gonna have a new seminar, a seminar with Pahumpa this weekend, and he's a smaller guy that can bring a lot of knowledge for me and for the team, new knowledge. That's why I'm bringing him. We have Bruninho Barbosa, who's one of our teammates that teach in Kuala Lumpur, and amazing game, totally different than mine. This is part of me getting better at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with the gi. Now, I decided to learn more about other weapons. I decided to learn more about other styles. I added Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu combat BJJ. I added combatives to the school, but I'm not shifting and changing anything. I just added one more thing. So here's the deal. How do I see this? I came in contact with amazing firearms trainers that happen to be good in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and Muay Thai and etc. Brought Bill Rapier for a combative seminar in our school. Many of our guys liked, many of our guys saw utility in that. That's perfect. So I'm going this way. I'm still gonna be here for you guys the whole time with new jiu-jitsu competition and etc. That's one of the reasons why we came up with Gammon too. It's just another Brazilian jiu-jitsu tournament for everyone in our area, and we're gonna next year we go into other areas. Um, so we have I have my still my competition side. That's one of the reasons I'm losing weight, because I want to be better, a better competitor. Next year I'm going back and going to try to compete as much as I can. And then we have me going and learning other stuff so I can help more of the law enforcement guys in our school, the first responders, and my own improvement as a human being, doing more my researches and etc. Now, when we go to a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu class, it's a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu class. It's not a political place, a place for politics. It's not a place for religion. It's not a place for anything else besides Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. We train with a different array of people, like a huge array of people from, people on the far left to far right. Everybody inside the mats are the same. I have my own opinions that I don't push on anyone. I post it on my own Facebook, but that's me and my right to express my ideas on my own Facebook, or it could be my own Instagram. But that's me. That doesn't change who I am in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. It doesn't change who I am in MMA. It doesn't change who I am in whatever martial arts I'm practicing. Because when I'm teaching Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, I'm teaching Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. When I'm teaching combatives, I'm teaching combatives. Even my vocabulary changed from one to another. And we still have the right places. So, are you a jiu-jitsu guy? Come to a jiu-jitsu class. Are you an MMA guy? Go to an MMA class. Are you a kickboxing Muay Thai guy? Go to a Muay Thai class. Are you a self-defense combatives guy? Go for a combatives class. Are you a person that wants to know everything from grappling, standing on the ground, from striking, from takedowns and throws, for self-defense, combatives, blades, and firearms? You have everything. You want to be specialized in just one thing? Be specialized just in that thing. Are you going there? Are you doing combatives because you want to lose weight and you don't like the groundwork? That's fine. Are you doing combatives because you you are a police officer and you want to know how to use less force more efficiently to subdue someone? Perfect. That's what we're looking for. Are you an EMT guy that wants to be ready in case you're dealing with a psychotic patient or psychotic person inside your ambulance, and then which has happened a few times, or somebody high on PCP, meth, or whatever other drug, and you're a first responder and you want to stay safe and protect other people? Why not learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Why not learn self-defense and combatives? You don't need to use a blade against somebody like that. So you see, everything is within a huge spectrum. And you have to be open-minded enough to see that what I teach goes from sports Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for whoever, for the guard pullers. I teach the guard pullers. And if pulling guard is your thing, I'm not gonna be the one telling you to not pull guard, because in competitions I pull guard a lot, even though I'm an ultra heavyweight guy. Now you go all the way up to okay. Now I want to learn life or death situations to protect. I want to learn how to really protect my life because I'm a first responder, or because I want to protect my family, and I want to know combatives efficiently. I want to know a little bit of basics of blades and striking, and you just want to practice your right to defend yourself. We have a class for that too. So many schools have been teaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So many schools have been teaching striking and Krav. other or RMA, especially RMA, reality martial arts, which is well liked system, which is a very very strong, efficient system for self defense. And some people like, I don't like to think about those things. That's fine. That's okay. That's your life. That's your choice. Be open minded to accept other people that want to think about the reality, and some people that want to be vigilant, or and if you are into self-defense combatives because you are more realistic, and because or because of your job, be open-minded to accept that people don't want to think about those things. So that's the common ground, and that's, again, it's your own journey. Live your own journey. Martial arts, my journey now is, I want to compete next year with the gi. I want to teach more MMA. I want to make MMA professional guys again, and preparing some new guys. We have some new guys getting prepared for their professional MMA lives. We're gonna ramp up that training. But me personally, I've been searching for the best trainers in self-defense and combatives, and I'm gonna list some of the guys on the bottom there that I look up to. Um, and if you're into firearms, I would say train with those guys. If you're into blades, go train with these guys. If you're into, and I list there, and make your own journey. Make your own journey. You can look at mine and say, oh, I think it's pretty cool what Luigi's doing. He changed his mindset a little bit for self-defense and combatives, but he's not bringing that. He's not mentioning that in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Let me go to his combatives class and see how he talks about these things. And then you're gonna see two different guys. Luigi teaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is, relaxed and just talking about points, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, position before submission, strategy in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and etc., etc., etc. Or it can be somebody telling you, oh, hey, like me, why don't you eat more of this? Why don't you look for this supplements? Why don't you treat yourself with this chiropractor or this massage therapist? Or, so it's a kind of different, it's more like feel good, well being, martial art, application of martial arts. So it could be somebody, all right, Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, judo with April, 8 o'clock, super super hard class. I'm not gonna take it easy. I'm gonna yell at you, but that's at 8 o'clock. Actually, maybe there are like three Luigis, right? The everyday Luigi for Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. There's my Luigi pushing people in MMA and competition class in BJJ, and there's Luigi talking about self defense and combatives, right? Same guy. We just focusing different things. Be open-minded for that. I know this is a long video, but it's very very important that you guys understand. Another thing is, check yourself. Check yourself. This 28 minutes here in this video, I'm gonna mark this. Check yourself. Make sure that maybe you have a group of close friends, and ask those friends to tell you if you're being a jerk, if you became a jerk or not after you became a black belt, or if you became a cocky, arrogant person after you got your blue belt. Ask, or even ask yourself, if you are still the same person as a white belt when it comes to being humble, leaving your ego outside, and your bad ego, not your good ego, because you need your good ego to win. Okay, you need your good ego to become a better person. Don't. It's not all the ego. Let's talk about ego on a weekly talk number 3. But check yourself. Check yourself. Make sure that you're still the same person when it comes to being humble, or a better person. But see if you didn't become a worse person. All right. We're talking about change here. So check if you change for good or for bad, or if you just remain the same humble person. Um, a white belt should treat everybody from white to black the same way. A black belt should treat everybody from white to black belt the same way. It's not because you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 degrees in your black belt that you now can become this cocky, arrogant guy, or girl. Check yourself. Sometimes what happens, even like we don't check ourselves, or we don't see us changing. And I have good people around me that are very good telling me, like, Luigi, that wasn't good. Okay? And then I try to do my self evaluation. and to see what I could do to be better. So always check yourself, or have somebody, or maybe two or three good friends, to sometimes just ask them, like, hey guys, what do you think I'm, not that you need anybody's approval, but just different opinions, because it's very common that we don't see us becoming crankier, or even like looking like having a bipolar, kind of like moody behavior on the mats, or making less of other people just because we think it's superior, because we went through, oh, back in the day. Listen, nobody in my school, no student that I have gone through what I have gone through, period. Also, I have been a black belt longer than most of my students have been trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Okay, probably like 99% of my students have been training martial arts uh, less less time than I have been a black belt. I don't know if I said that my grammar is right or not. But see, I try to make sure that I'm still the same person, and of course I have my flaws. So open-mindedness, be open for change, look for your self-improvement on the mats, outside the mats. Make your own journey. Respect everybody's journey, including mine. If you don't like what I've been doing in self-defense and combatives, don't come to my self-defense and combatives classes. Don't like my posts. If you think that has some inspiration for you and can open your eyes, join me. Um, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu will never change for me. Muay Thai, MMA will never change for me. Anything I teach, the way that I teach, the mindset in the school, because remember what I said, it's about you, not about me. Okay? Have a great training week. Saturday, 23rd, everybody coming for Pahumpa seminar. Okay? 12 o'clock, 12 to 2:30, then a quick break. We will have the black belt, brown and black belt training, not training, testing. 4 o'clock graduations for blue, purple, brown, and blacks. Okay? Have a good week. Bye.